Hi school counselors, I'm so glad that you are here and watching this video. Today's topic it's about interview questions for school counselors. So what can you expect? It's that time of the year that if you're looking for a new position, or maybe you're a new counselor and you're looking for your new job, you don't want to be a teacher no more, you pass your test, you did all the things that you need to do, and you are ready to go. You're a go-getter. If that's you, stay tuned because I'm going to create a couple of videos related to the same topic, because at this time of the year you need some questions or possible questions for your counseling interview, and also you need some possible answers or responses. I'm going to give you some suggestions that work well for me. That doesn't mean that you have to repeat the same things that I said. It's very important that you're authentic, that you also talk from the heart, and that they see your passion or your all the things that you're capable to do for their campus. By saying that disclaimer, I wanted to take in consideration that even though you wish a position with all your heart and you want to work in one place, not necessarily they are the right fit for you or you are the right fit for the campus. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a school counselor. I'm a bilingual school counselor at Houston, Texas. I've been in that situation when I was a new counselor looking for a job, and I wish that somebody guide me through the process. At the same time, I was in some situations where I didn't get or the phone call for the interview, or I didn't get the job offer. And by the end of the day, let me tell you something. If it's not meant to be for you, it's okay. Let it go. God will have other stuff for you, or whatever is your belief. You will have something that matches your personality, your style, and all the amazing things you need to provide for that campus, okay? So don't get frustrated. Okay, so the first thing, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell, because I'm going to continue creating more videos like this one. Question number 1, and it's the one that you're like, okay, I know that, but you need to think about it before you go into that interview. Tell me a little bit about yourself. So maybe you were a teacher, maybe you were doing something else, maybe you were an LPC. If that's your case, think about how you can transition who you are right now, and then you can move it forward for what you're looking for. What type of experience are you looking for? What do you want to do? And what are your goals, okay? So if you're a teacher, so I'm this, describe a little bit about your professionalism, how you are as a professional. Describe a little bit about who you are as a human. Do you have a cat? Do you have a dog? Do you have a husband? Do you have a wife? Do you have children? To be honest, that is not very important, but human connections are important. And if you're in this field of school counselors, you know that relationships are very important. So in that part, you're trying to make a connection with them. Tell them how many years of experience do you have, any type of hobbies, or if you're a go-getter, if you're really organized, any type of skills or strengths that you have. This is the perfect timing. And why, if you can fit it in, that would be amazing. Why you are looking forward for a school counseling position. That's very important. It's like guiding them. This is who I am. This is what I like to do. This is me outside of my work. This is me as a human. This is me as a professional. And I'm looking forward for a school counseling position at your campus or any openings. You never know. Okay? That's the basic one. And then wherever you go, rather if it's this interview or the other ones, they always ask for that. And some people get stuck in the first question. And that's the basic one. That's the time where you need to get the time to smash it in and take it all in and show them who you are, right? Question number 2. They usually ask you about the counseling program. They want to know if you know what you need to do, what is expected from you to do, and what are some of the things. So usually the first questions are going to be about the role of a school counselor. And I'm going to put a link down below. It is related to American School Counselors Association, and over there you can see some of the most common questions that they are suggesting. So in this video, I'm combining some of the questions that they provided for us and some of the questions that I experienced that they tweak. It seems like they kind of print those questions, but they kind of tweak it a little bit based on the needs that they may have at the district or in the school setting. Okay, remember, every school is different, every school district is different. Sometimes you're going to have a panel. I forgot to explain that at the beginning of the video. Sometimes you're going to have a panel, or the district may have a screener for you, and then you go to the principal's office to do the interview with the staff members, and maybe hopefully the previous counselor is there to give you some guidance. So it all depends. It all depends. Some districts that I worked for in the past, they will go straight to the principal. You will have to respond an essay or something online and fill out your application, which is very long. Usually all the districts are like that. And after that, you go straight. If the principal sees that you are interested in a position, well, they will take your resume. Anyway, but that's going to be in a different video, that part of what you can do about how you can approach a principal if you haven't received the phone call from the district. Okay, that's a different video. Okay, so let's go back into business. So describe your counseling program. It's very important that you show them that you know what you're talking about. And if you don't remember some of the details, which it can happen to you, go back, narrow it down, write it down, and don't forget about each of the categories. Some of the categories could be, and I'm going to show you. And those categories are very important. So don't forget that, for example, you can tell them about define, deliver, and manage, how you're going to manage. All the districts are looking for a comprehensive school counseling program. So you can't leave some stuff behind. You must explain all the things that you are capable of doing. Don't forget about your system support. Don't forget about your guidance lessons. Don't forget about your individual planning. Don't forget how you're going to deliver that program. Don't forget about the things that you can offer for career readiness. Don't forget about the academic components. What things can you do? Don't forget about the mindsets and behaviors. And don't forget about the most important one, the social emotional component. So don't forget that you are there for the students, for the teachers, for the faculty and the staff. You're there for the families and the communities. So take those little things in place and start setting up something aligned with what you're doing, okay? But it's very important that you mention every category. And then most of the times they're going to ask you to provide a concrete example of it. So for example, for the community and responsive services, maybe you can say your backpack buddy. If you have any specific program that provides food for the students in need, you can say any type of angel tree, any type of event that you do during the holidays, rather if it's Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, any type of those programs, things that you do throughout the year to support families in need. Think about all those type of things. Also, whenever you're talking about how you plan your schedule and what do you do and how do you respond for the needs, you need to talk about the referrals and how do you talk to your teachers, faculty, staff, and the families. How do you connect with them? Don't forget to mention about how you gather your data, how students or families can contact you, how the teachers know who you are. What do you do? Most of them do not have any idea of what are your services, or maybe they have a misconception about you or the work that you should do. Like, for example, you know that counselors should not be testing coordinators, and I know it happens, been there, done that. I'm not doing that right now, and I'm so happy about it. I know that some counselors will have 504, there are 504 coordinators, GT coordinators, and so much more. So it's very important. You're in the interview, you're not going to say bad things about that style because maybe that's the need of the school that you're looking for. But it is very important that you provide enough information that they know that you know what you're talking about, you know what you need to do. And being a testing coordinator is not part of your duties, but you're not going to say that, okay? You are not going to say that. Just keep it to yourself, okay? These 3 questions, I'm going to read 3 questions in a row. So that will be our question 3, 4, and 5. These ones are for the role of the school counselor. And usually, depending on the school where you go, they're going to tweak those questions like a little bit around, okay? So one of the questions is, what do you see as the most effective use of a school counselor's time? And tied into that, you can talk a little bit about how to plan your day, how you do it, how you set up everything in your calendar, in your Outlook calendar. If you're a crazy person like me, which I like the paper version and I like the digital one. So I use Outlook, which I look every single day, even though you have an idea of what you need to do, but I just check and follow through. I share my calendar with my principal, my AP, the secretary, and the front office, so everybody knows where is Miss Santiago. Also, take in consideration, leave some events over there, but it's very important that they know how you're going to divide and you're going to use your day. One of the questions that they can tie up later on in your interview, and then maybe we're in question number 10 right now. No, not just kidding. It is, how do you balance? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, paperwork versus the things that you need to do. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. That's a very important one, and you need to address that topic right away. But I'm going to give you a hint. Can you take the students home? No. Okay, but then we will talk about that later. The panel, I never been in an interview where they ask me about the mindsets of behaviors or of ASCA, or specific questions are ASCA related. They're gonna guide you through the process, and we're all professionals, we know, but when you get nervous, you can get in black, and that's what we don't want for you. Okay, the other question tied up in that one. What do you think is the most important characteristic of a school counselor? What's the most essential characteristic school counselors have that supports caring, keyword, supportive school climate, keyword, for all students? And this one also, they did it for me. So if we are narrowing down the question number 1, tell me a little bit about yourself. Question number 2, describe your ideal or your school counseling program, or what do you need to do. Question number 3, we talk about what do you see the most effective use of a school counselor's time. And we're going to tie up that question with another one later on. Question number 4, now we're talking about the characteristics of a counselor. And the keywords in the questions were caring and supportive climate, supportive school climate for all students. If you're in this field, obviously you should never discriminate. That's unacceptable for anybody in this world, right? So that's a very important thing. And I think everything starts with relationships. And the relationship starts since the student walks into the building. The relationship starts even if you're parking in the parking lot outside and the student is waving. Or maybe has a grumpy face. Usually mine waves at me. So, but maybe you see a student in a corner, that happens, like that, that something is not right. So a relationship starts like from day one, every day, wherever you go. Even if you use the restroom, you know that you're the school counselor. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Any funny experience about that too. It's all about relationships. So, and you need to demonstrate them that you care, that you're there for them no matter what they need to say, that you're not going to judge them, that you're going to be supportive, and you're going to take action right away. If it's developing a plan for them, if it's contacting the parents, if it's contacting an agency in order to protect them, like CPS, Child Protective Services, whatever you need to do for them to help them succeed. Rather, if it's facilitating a conversation with a teacher, facilitating a conversation with the principal, with a parent, maybe connecting the family with some resources. So that's part of caring, and so much more that we can do for them. And the positive school climate starts with you. The way you act, the way you treat them, including the staff, faculty, your boss, your principal, your administrators. Even if you don't like somebody, put your best face. Be nice and be kind. The same thing that we preach for our students are the same things that we should be modeling every single day. Okay? So don't forget about that. So that could be one way that you can gap. And then actually afterwards, you can change my words, but you must do it. Sometimes they ask me, why you're always so happy? La 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 la. And I try to give my best for my campus, wherever I go, and for my school, for my students, for my faculty, and my staff. And even if sometimes I'm feeling all the way down and it's been a hard day, sometimes I just breathe in. It's like, ah, what a day, so and so, what a day. But I say it with a smile because I know that's part of my job and that's what I signed up for. Okay? And the next question, it is, describe your ideal school counseling program. Include some specific examples that it will include. And or how does the school counseling program support the school improvement plan? The improvement plan comes when a student, it's like the scores are really low and the school is not moving forward, it's not making progress. The counselor is part of the school improvement plan. And that's basic kind of taking care of the needs of the families, taking care of the needs of the school, coordinating trainings for the parents, stuff for the campus, and so much more. But I want you to think about those areas. Think about your responsive services, think about your system support, think about your individual planning, think about your guidance lesson, and provide examples for each one of them. One new initiative that we're doing at the district that I work for individual planning, we started doing a one-on-one meeting, a personalized counseling with our fifth graders. Right now, we're moving forward to have a one-on-one meeting with every single student in our campus. In the campus that I work for, right now we have 685 students. And I got the pleasure to see and talk, and they got to see my office. It's such a blessing. I can tell you how much all of us gain from that experience. So that's something that other districts are taking in consideration. If by any chance, if you want to know a little bit more about it, email me or leave me on the comments below. My email is counselingsolutionsbychris@gmail.com, and I'm going to put it over here so you can see it. It's very important that you narrow down a couple of examples for those, and the more you talk with sense, of course, the more knowledge you will demonstrate that you have, or the more you can provide for your program. If you have even examples in a tablet, if you have like tangible papers, examples for them about your program, how you're going to do your referrals, if you have a web page, how they can reach you, how they can find you, resources that you may find for them, how you organize your guidance lessons, what topics do you usually would like to target. If you don't have experience, it's okay. You can think about the topics that we talk about, or I can do another video so we can target some of the topics that you should be covering in your guidance lessons. But every school is different, so it will depend on the needs of the campus. And last but not least, I'm going to do more videos with more questions about this, and I'm going to leave some right now. Investigate what are the demographics of the school before you go into the interview. Enter all the address in the Google Maps and check how far it is from home. The traffic, la 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 la. But if it's your first year counseling, my suggestion for you, do not get too picky. Do you want the experience? Do you really want a job? Do you really want to make an impact in students' life from a different perspective rather than the classroom or in your office? Do you really are you ready for this? So set up your prayers, your positive mindsets for yourself, for the universe, whatever is your belief. But last but not least, think about all those little details that will make a huge impact for the way your vision for your future. So what do you want to do, okay? If it's very important that you investigate, if you see something that you didn't like, so well, don't waste your time and don't apply, and don't waste their time as well, okay? But don't get too picky to the point where you want perfect schools in a perfect world with the perfect people, because that doesn't exist. And in my experience, those type of campuses usually they hire somebody with a lot of experience, or they try to find someone that's so and so, or someone knows that can give a good reference or good feedback about them. And maybe you don't have the experience yet, kind of. If you have the right contacts, yay! Congratulations! But if you don't, don't stress out too much, but investigate. Do I think I'm the right fit? Look for the previous counselor if they had one. Look for the school. You can drive around and see, this is something that I would like, or maybe this is something that I would not like. Okay, next question for the next time. If you have any specific questions, let me know. What influenced you to be a school counselor? I'm going to be talking about how do you handle criticism, or what is something that new, listen the word, new that you can bring to the campus or any program. What innovations are occurring of the best? How do you handle virtual learning versus face-to-face learning in case that something like that happens again? Or for example, me, I have virtual students and I have face-to-face students. So how will you assess the school counseling program? What type of data would you demonstrate? That's a big one. All the programs are right now guiding by data, and that's really good. And you need to stay tuned. How do I advocate for my students? How would you address a navigate parent? How would you address a passive or uninvolved parent? All of those, I had them in my previous interviews. Describe past interactions with parents in home visits. Are you willing to do home visits? That's part of your job. You need to do it. What's going on with you? If you thought, you can gain so much. If you're respectful and kind, you go into those buildings, they can treat you so nice, or homes, and they can treat you sometimes like, but you get to know them. You get to connect. They get to see you in a different perspective, where they know that you are there for them. You are there for them, and you're here to support them if they need your help. And if they don't, you knock on the door again. And if they don't, you know what you need to do. Okay, so what do you do if? So we're going to practice scenarios. So this is going to be, we're going to have a couple of videos about different questions. Stay tuned, and I'm going to make a playlist of them, and have a nice day.